Dragon Ball Super is in a very good place right now. Not only do we have the new Dragon Ball room, which was designed to support future Dragon Ball content, but the games and the merchandise are doing very well given how often they're being released. Let's just take a quick look at what Dragon Ball games are being worked on right now and supported. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 in terms of the upcoming DLC and the Nintendo Switch release. Dragon Ball Fusions, which will be released in Europe very soon. The Japanese exclusive 3DS game, at least as of me recording this, Dragon Ball Heroes Ultimate Mission X. Super Dragon Ball Heroes and Zenkai Battle Royale for Japanese arcades. The Japanese and global versions of Dragon Ball Z Dark and Battle, which gets an update pretty much every other week. And presumably a new Dragon Ball game set to be released in 2017 that no one knows anything about yet if Namco Bandai's contract is to be believed. So that's 7 Dragon Ball games that we know of that are being worked on right now. So that being said, it makes sense to me to think that Dragon Ball is in a good place and that after the Universal Survival Arc, also known as the Tournament of Power or the Tournament of Might, Dragon Ball Super will continue. But the real question here is, well, what can they possibly do? But before we get this discussion going, if you guys do enjoy these videos and you want to see more and you are new to the channel, then I highly encourage you to subscribe, as that really does help me and the channel out quite a bit. If we rewind a little bit and go back to the start of the new Dragon Ball Super content, which doesn't include the Beerus Saga or the Return of Frieza, Dragon Ball Super has been building up since the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament. I mean, that in itself was amazing, and that set up for the Universal Survival Arc. But after that, we had the quote-unquote evil Goku stuff, which was just Goku Black. And again, that was something that fans have wanted for such a long time, and it really did feel like it will be quite hard, if possible at all, to surpass that without going to the Universal Survival Arc, because we had new transformations, Super Saiyan Rage, Super Saiyan Rose, the return of Vegito, and we had someone who was immortal. And of course, we witnessed Zen-oh, the Omni King, wipe out an entire universe. So with all those things in mind, I do want to discuss a few possibilities where Dragon Ball Super can go after the Tournament of Power. So firstly, as of me recording this, the latest episode was 78, and we found out that the winning universe, well, gets nothing, I guess. But the winning contestant gets a wish from the Super Dragon Balls. The general idea and theory going around the community at the moment is that, well, Goku's going to win and he's going to wish for all the universes to be restored. Now, while this is something that is very predictable, I think people are forgetting something here. Let's just say that Goku does win and he does wish for all the universes to be restored that Zen-oh destroyed. All of the universes that Zen-oh destroyed. That means, as it suggests, all of the universes that Zen-oh destroyed. Not the other 11 universes from Universe 1 to 12, but the additional 6 universes that Zen-oh destroyed prior. Now, there's a few ways that you could go about this. Firstly, you could explore why Zen-oh destroyed those 6 universes, because if we think about it, I mean, why 6? I do believe that it was stated by Beerus or Wiz that Zen-oh was just in a bad mood one day, so he decided to wipe out 6 universes. But we could really go kind of deep into this. Maybe he destroyed those 6 universes because they came up with a plan to join forces to try and overthrow Zen-oh. So if Goku wishes for all of the universes that Zen-oh destroyed to be restored, then Universe 13 to 18 would also be revived. And then maybe those 6 universes continue with their plan to overthrow and potentially kill Zen-oh, hence why maybe Zen-oh now has those 2 bodyguards, don't know, just a little theory, but maybe those 6 universes reach out to Universe 6 and L Universe, Universe 7, and rejoin them, and then that could lead into the next arc to try and kill the Omni King. Because if you think about it, it is quite scary to think that you could be wiped out of existence in a flash, like instantly. And given how big each universe is and that there's a total of 18 to what we know of, there's bound to be at least one person who would try to rebel against the Omni King. And maybe this tournament can really start setting up for the future arc. Because if both of the Omni Kings promised to deliver what they said, which was to destroy 11 universes, then that is quite scary and, to an extent, reckless. Well, not to an extent, it is reckless. Because as far as we know, and again, the latest episode as of me recording this, has been episode 78, the Omni King is supposed to be the god of the Dragon Ball universe, at least in canon, or, you know, like in universe. So if he just keeps one universe alive, I mean, you're not doing a good job, to be honest. And especially if you're going to destroy the other universes just because they lose in a tournament, like, let's be fair, that's really reckless, that's stupid. So it makes sense to me to think that at some point in the future there'll be some sort of plot to try and overthrow and kill the Omni King. or rather the Omni Kings. But exploring a few other possibilities, if Goku does indeed win and he wishes for all the universes to be restored and that's the end of that, then I don't really think everyone from all the 12 universes would be happy with Goku starting all of this, because as Beerus said, Goku is too naive for his own good and too reckless. So it's worth mentioning that maybe someone from one of the other universes will try and come over to Universe 7 to kill Goku, because if Goku did something as stupid and reckless as this, then Goku could potentially be, in some regard, the biggest murderer in the entire Dragon Ball franchise. Maybe one of the Gods of Destructions from a different universe comes over to Universe 7 to try and kill Goku, because Goku is dangerous, he really is. And it's interesting because Goku is supposed to be the ultimate good guy in Dragon Ball, but he has done something that could potentially kill almost everyone in all of existence. And I don't think, even if all the universes were to be restored, that they'll just roll over and continue with their lives. I think they'll want to try and kill and take out the person who set this up, because if Goku can do something like this now, who's to say that Goku won't be able to do something that's worse in the future? I think it'll be a very interesting dynamic if a God of Destruction were to try and kill Goku, because again, Goku is portrayed as being the ultimate good guy, but if a God of Destruction is trying to kill Goku because he's just too reckless, then who really is the good guy and the bad guy there? I just think that'll be something very interesting to explore, because again, who really is the good guy? Because Goku, he has a good heart, but he's just too stupid and too naive to really know what to do in all situations, if that makes sense. So if a God of Destruction wanted to kill Goku to try and bring peace to to all the universes, again, I just want to see that happen, because that'll be really interesting to see. But I will say this, I don't think it should be Beerus, because I do honestly think that if they're going to explore this, then Goku will end up killing the God of Destruction, whoever that will be. And I just think that the Goku vs Beerus rematch should be the final arc for Super, because they started Super off with it, and I just think it'll be very nice and very fitting if they ended it with Goku finally surpassing the God of Destruction of Universe 7, Beerus. I also think it's worth mentioning that if Goku or whoever wins the tournament wishes for all of the universes to be restored, that could potentially result in future Trunks' timeline to also be restored, and before it was destroyed by Zen-oh, Merge Zamasu became like, what, 4th dimensional? Like, he was taking over the entire universe with his presence or his consciousness. So if that is to be restored, that could potentially mean that Merge Zamasu could return. And if that does happen, I really do think that Zen-oh will just turn a blind eye to it and he wouldn't really care, because he did destroy it once before, and Goku wished for it back, or whoever could potentially wish for it, you know, they wish for it to return. So maybe Zen-oh thinks like, I don't know, well, I destroyed it once, you wished for it back, deal with it yourself now. And that could be really interesting to see how they could deal with that. So moving on from that, we already know that the winning contestant of the tournament will receive a wish from the Super Dragon Balls. A very brief lesson in the Super Dragon Balls. They're scattered over both Universe 6 and 7, and Champa was trying to collect all of them again to make a wish for whatever reason. He already found 3 of them, but he just decided to hand them over to the Grand Prix, and that's why we now have a prize for the winning contestant. We already know that the tournament will take place in something called the World of Void, and this is something that's outside of all 12 universes, and the reason they picked it was because that way all of the fighters could go full out and won't have to hold back in case they accidentally destroy a universe, like what Super Saiyan God Goku and Beerus almost did in the Beerus saga. But here's the thing, like what I've already mentioned, the Super Dragon Balls, after they've been used, will scatter over Universe 6 and 7, but if those 2 universes have been destroyed, then where do they go? Do they either scatter across the remaining surviving universe, or do they stay in the World of Void? We also don't know yet if the Angels, the Kaioshins, the Gods of Destruction, the Fighters and Spectators are also going to be erased when their respective universe loses. That could then set up for the next arc, which could be trying to find the Super Dragon Balls scattered across the universe. Oh, it's like GT. Oh no. But yeah, that could set up a future arc where the survivors of Universe 7 go around the surviving universe to try and find the Super Dragon Balls to then restore the 11 universes that were destroyed. And kind of spinning off from that idea, we already know that Champa was trying to get these Super Dragon Balls, which again were scattered across both Universe 6 and 7 for a second time. Now, I do think that will be very interesting to explore. Maybe that could actually set up for a true Universal Destruction arc. On one hand, you have Universe 7, which they're just trying to defend their territory and their universe, And on the other hand, you have Universe 6, which they may want to try and invade Universe 7, use the Super Dragon Balls to merge them both together to create one ultimate universe, and maybe Champa wants to rule over both of them, or in this case, the one merged universe. You do have to admit though, regardless of what you think, that would be very explosive, especially if two universes were actually fighting full out. Now, just to close out the video, given what we've seen in Dragon Ball Super so far, let's be fair, would we really be surprised if we see someone that looked like Cell, or even Cell himself, return? I mean, let's just break this down. So, Frieza returned and gained a new transformation. We had an evil, well, a quote-unquote evil Goku. He was given a new transformation. Vegito returned and became Super Saiyan Blue. What else am I missing? Of course, Trunks came back and he received a new transformation in the form of Super Saiyan Rage. We now have a female legendary Super Saiyan from the intro and presumably from Universe 6. I mean, let's be fair, with all those things in mind, would you really be surprised if Cell himself returned, or some sort of clone or something like that? Because I honestly wouldn't. Those are just a few ideas that I have for what could potentially happen after the Universal Survival Arc. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either if they just did something completely different, which, again, I just wouldn't be surprised. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a comment telling me what you guys think will happen. And with that being said, I will see you next time.